Uh, Man, fuck a cop, nigga. I don't wanna hear nothing about no all cops ain't bad, nigga. Fuck all that, nigga. They lady called this nigga for help and he ended up taking a life, nigga. The fuck? Alright, come on. Whole trying to die by fully. All these bitch ass cops get a badge and a gun and think they a bullet. She got killed by one, so it's only right hit bitch ass died to a bullet. Shot her cause wet, she had a pot of water. What the fuck, nigga gotta be stupid. Hell nah, nigga ain't really just racing. Crazy ass bitch, you got her mistaken. Die for no reason. You the one kill the stupid ass nigga, you the only one crazy. I be down, I ever call the cops for what? So they can shoot me in my face. I would've crashed out with my mama and bumped down on the bitch ass with a Drake, nigga. She asked for help, his ass did the opposite and he took a life. I hope your bum ass go to prison, they hit your bitch ass with a knife. I pray this shit on sight. Pride not pride get protest custody so they can save your life. I already know this shit ain't right, nigga. Yeah, we killing each other, little twin, but they had a real enemy, little twin. Wake up, nigga.
Welcome, man. This is the second part to America Divided, man. And I'm gonna start off by saying, all the people out there slandering Sonya Massey name, fuck you in your ass, nigga. Y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all ain't never gonna be shit. Anybody that wants to politicize this shit or wants to ignore their own eyes, ignore their own, you know what I'm saying, actual thought process and believe that Sonya Massey did anything to justify her own shooting, you're a fucking idiot, man. But today, man, we're not going to be talking about just any one thing. We're going to be talking about the politics, man. Politics as usual, bro. It's really crucial out here, man. The world has gotten real polarized with this Republican Democrat shit. And, man, these niggas is like gangs for real these days, man. They the real live true gang bangers, you know what I'm saying? The politicians, man. But we're gonna start off by talking a little bit about Kamala and the hate that Kamala is getting, man. Cause I don't know if y'all noticed, man, as much support as she's been getting right now, Kamala has also been getting the hate, man. And not only from conservatives, but from just, you know what I'm saying, Democrats inside their own party, you know what I'm saying, the black vote, the black men and women at that, you know what I'm saying. I've seen a lot of people come out with the whole I'm not voting with or I'm not with her movement, and also that she's not black movement. A couple different little movements I've seen within TikTok and certain social medias pretty much denouncing Kamala. But when you have Trump saying the quiet part out loud, when he tells you that this next election might be the last one, that he's gonna fix it, where it doesn't have to be any more elections after that. Matter of fact, let's not take my word for it. Let's hear his own words, my nigga. Because yeah, Trump says the quiet part out loud a lot these days, and I don't think people are really taking him serious.
I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
This is your former, possibly future president right here, saying that as soon as he gets elected, that he's gonna be a dictator. And you know what? He hasn't lost a bit of support yet. That's what's so crazy about it, man. When it comes down to it, you gotta understand, man. Trumpicans are out they fucking mind these days, man. Like Trump, they could have a tape of Trump literally hitting a fucking elderly person or fucking tripping over a fucking kid or some shit, or even just assaulting the kid at this point, bro. And I don't think he'll lose a vote because Trump in their minds is the second coming of Jesus Christ. And I mean this shit literally, bro. I really think these motherfuckers think that Trump is the second coming of Jesus Christ, man. And that man can do no wrong, bro. He even said himself, like all the people that I used to hear talk about how Trump is a Christian and woo, 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 and we all knew this shit when the nigga had the whole photo op, and I don't know if it was Dallas or Fort Worth, one of the two, and he had the Bible upside down, all this different shit like that, bro. We knew this motherfucker wasn't no damn Christian, bro. But so many Christians out there defended this man, talking about, he grew up in the church and blah blah blah, bro. I could just look at Trump and tell that man that he don't know nothing that's in the Bible, bro, whatsoever. But so many white evangelical Christians support this man, and so many people, because they say that this man is supposed to be bringing on a theocracy. I kind of find that really very hard to believe, but they do say he's supposed to be bringing on this theocracy. Later on, we might talk about some of the remnants of that being in some of these red states. But as of now, I'm not buying it completely. I believe, if anything, it's just going to be an autocracy, you know what I'm saying? Certain people, you know what I'm saying, running the shit, running the show, minding their pockets. Kind of like, you know what I'm saying? If you can say America's already kind of an autocracy or oligarchy of some sorts. The people at the top are definitely being funded by an unseen hand, and some of them, and like I said, I reported on some of the reps and the people that donate to the reps of the House of Representatives and shit. And so some of the names are out there, but Forbes doesn't disclose every fucking rich ass motherfucker, because obviously you have to, you know what I'm saying, want to be in Forbes in order for them to even publish you. So the people who don't want to, you know what I'm saying, have recognition out here or don't want their name out here, don't let the people know about or let the people know about their wealth and shit, bro. Just the truth. So when it comes down to it, we're gonna have a lot of funding that the government is getting that is not being told to the public. And that becomes a problem later on down the line, man. A lot of people don't want to realize that shit, but that shit is going to definitely be an issue. Come on later on down the when you talk about the laws getting made, whatever's getting passed. These guys, you know what I'm saying? These guys that's funding these reps, that's funding these senators, funding the president. I'm telling you, they usually going to have the first deals of what's going to be done and what's going to be said. But y'all give me a second real quick. I got to do something real quick. Motherfucker want to call a nigga every time while I'm on live and shit. Yeah, I apologize about that. But yeah, where I was at, man. This shit with Trump, you know what I'm saying? This shit is a cult, bro. At the end of the day. Hold on, I got some comments. Let me see what was that. Oh, salute Ra in the chat, man. Salute to you, man. One of the first people watching nigga go live. So salute to you out there. But yeah, man, this politics shit getting crazy, man. At the end of the day, man. I've never seen a day where I would really think that, depending on who becomes elected, we might have to go to war to even have another president. or to have another, you know what I'm saying? It might have to be some type of coup or some type of shit get done in order for us to get back power of our country, bro. Like Trump, like people think Trump playing, bro. Trump goes into everything with the mindset of controlling and making the most out of it for itself. I've seen a lot of that with just different lawsuits and cases and different shit that I was studying on him back in like 2015, 2016 and shit. Like this man, you know what I'm saying? He's not a winner in the traditional sense. Like he doesn't make a successful business. He doesn't actually, you know what I'm saying? Like he's had successful businesses, but as far as like the successful business is not necessarily the goal for Trump. It's the money. It's making the money. It don't matter if he scams you or not. It's always about the money with him. And to a certain degree, it obviously it's worked for him because this man is a fucking billionaire. You know what I'm saying? But in a lot of ways, he doesn't have to pay out millions and millions, if not maybe billions, because there's certain amounts we can say that are not being disclosed and all that different shit. Like Ryan even saying, man, let's put that comment up, man. Okay, yeah, I know he was a co-defendant with Jeffrey Epstein in 2015, 2016. And I'm not sure if he was a co-defendant, because I know he was actually running in office at the time, or was he was either in office or running. At 15, he was running. At 16, he had won the election. But he actually had, you know what I'm saying, Epstein in his custody. And this man ended up dead. So that's a sad situation, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people would try to put Trump out of the situation, even though I think that whoever the guy, it was a judge in Florida that released the flight logs and all this shit right now. And I don't think they put the names of the people in it for whatever protection purposes, which that still confuses me that they even are trying to protect possible, you know what I'm saying, PDF people, bro. Like, it makes no sense to me at all. But it just doesn't make sense to me at all. But when it comes down to it, I mean, I ain't gonna say it does make sense if you are all in on this whatever rink of, you know what I'm saying, PDF and that they doing. Then of course, you know what I'm saying, that's why they want to cover up this certain situation. But for Trump to be the whatever they call it, you know, it was the whole Save the Children movement thing going on during his presidency. It was a lot of shit going on. Like, people don't really realize in like 2020, we had so much go on in 1 year that a lot of people ignore the parallels between the black and white cultures at the time during the end of the President Trump's presidency. Cause you had COVID going, you had the George Floyd shit where black folks was rioting, I won't say rioting, but protesting a lot, and then, you know, had some motherfuckers out there rioting. And I won't even say black people, because a lot of the motherfuckers was, you know what I'm saying, white as snow. But the fact is that there was a lot of protesting, there was a lot of shit going, there's a lot of civil unrest on one end over of a black man being killed. Then on the other end, you had the same type of kind of civil unrest and certain little plots to kidnap governors and all this shit happening in the same year on that same little timeline with the white people and the whole mask mandates and people protesting staying outside and protesting staying inside, and wearing a mask and shit. So you had white people over here protesting the shit that they were saying was supposed to keep us safe, while on the other end, you got niggas and white folks and everybody who was lined in with niggas and Black Lives Matter at the time protesting our mistreatment by the laws and shit. But see, I pose a question, man, that a lot of people like to try to paint a narrative of who black people are. And I got a question for you, you know what I'm saying, just about anybody who run across this video, man. Are black people inherently violent or inherently prone to violence? You will have a lot of people that'll say, well, look at the hood and look at the conditions that, you know what I'm saying, the hood is in and how they killing each other, black on black violence, you know. If you black, you done heard it. And if you been in any type of circle where, you know what I'm saying, outside, you know what I'm saying, people, whether they be, sometimes it'll be white people most times, but it could be Mexican people as well, and even other black people who say these things. So I won't just necessarily paint it all on white people, but it's definitely a lot, and a big majority of it is coming from white people, you know what I'm saying, that are saying that we are prone to all this different murder. We do all these different murders and we do all this different shit like that. But yet, do I ever hear any white people bring up all these murders that happen in these small towns where these motherfuckers be like, oh, well, it was never any violence happening around here. We didn't never think something like that would happen in our town. And then this man that went and killed his wife, his kids, all this different shit like that, bro. Chopped their ass up and put them in a motherfucking furnace and shit. Like, niggas, we be killing each other. Don't get me wrong. And I will admit to that, man. Niggas do kill each other a lot, bro. But one thing I do know is that we ain't out here dismembering bodies. We ain't chopping up niggas, putting them in no damn furnace or or having a grave in the backyard. Like, niggas shoot your ass and we remove from that situation, man. We ain't, hey, that is what it is. We pop your ass and that's it, or stab your ass and that's it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to cut off fingers, toes, and or niggas, you know, niggas was keeping body parts and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so many of these damn, like, just watch any true crime. Any true crime. It's majority white, and the crimes be gruesome as fuck. Like, terrible. Terrible shit, bro. So to say that one race is prone to violence over the other is idiotic off of just those notions alone. Like, you just look at how gruesome some white on white murder be. Shit, like, shit, how are we prone to violence, nigga? You know what I'm saying? We out here, a lot of niggas is, you know what I'm saying, removing themselves from, like, the actual killings because, you know what I'm saying, they shooting from the car, nigga riding by and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't even get to see motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, really die or not. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't never really, just hear about it later. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to some of these people, like even the killers of our country who might have to go survey a spot where there's a bunch of dead bodies and shit like that. I just say it's a big difference to this shit, man. And the fact that we got so many motherfuckers out here that'll paint this type of narrative on black people, I feel like it's the one of the most divisive tools out there in keeping us divided is to speak in a generality, and especially a negative generality. Look at some more of these comments, man. The court, yeah, he took some papers. He done did a lot of shit, man. I ain't gonna lie. Trump done did the fool, man. But we're gonna talk about the code of Trump, man, for sure. We're gonna talk a lot about the code of Trump, man. Cause them guys right there, they a fool. But I'm gonna let Biden, you know what I'm saying, speak on Trump a little bit, man. Cause Biden had a lot to say about Trump, man. It's really outside of his mumbling and shit in the debate, actually Biden had some little gems he was throwing out there on Trump, man. People just ignore that shit because, you know, Sleepy Joe. And so Sleepy Joe, let's go, Brandon. You know, that old bullshit, man.
Right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official at DOJ into the Manhattan DA's.
Yeah, man. But Biden be talking this shit whenever he can, you know what I'm saying, get his sentences together, man. But like I say, I'm not a nigga that's telling you to go and support Biden, man, at the end of the day. I'm not gonna even say that Biden would actually be able to run our country in a sufficient manner, man. I think he's done some good though. I think every president has they room to do good and they room to do bad. So when it comes down to this shit, it's more about how can they make all three branches of government come to a cohesive, you know what I'm saying, a cohesiveness, man. And it's kind of hard to do with this political climate that we in now, where Republicans or what you call conservatives don't want to fuck with liberals, and liberals don't want to fuck with conservatives. And you know what I'm saying, Democrat, Republican, you put whatever buzzword, whatever bullshit you want to put there. But one side this doesn't want to work with the other side, man. It doesn't really matter. But I honestly, I just don't I don't see America getting to a better place right now, man. Not without the people, you know what I'm saying, stepping outside of the bullshit. Stop getting caught up in the spectacle of presidential elections, in the spectacle of narrative-based content where it doesn't matter if it's true as long as we can push a certain narrative, agenda-based content. There's a lot of agenda-based content out here, and I ain't gonna say there really is nothing wrong with agenda-based content. It's what agenda you trying to push. And like for me, I just want people to be informed. I want people to understand, like, it's bad on both sides, but there's definitely a lesser of two evils here, man. I think that, you know what I'm saying, in general, you can't really have a good government. You can have an okay government, but you really can't have a good government because, you know, government is going to try its best to not delegate any power to you that it can, bro. Like the world doesn't want to see the people that they're trying to govern or trying to rule gain power. No ruler wants that, whether it's your local elected official or it's your king or whatever the fuck it is, and wherever you at, man. They don't want to see you have power, bro. They'll never want to see you have power because it takes the job away from them that they pursued. They went and took their whole life. They took their whole life out, set their life up a certain way, trying to rule, trying to have and gain the power that they have. Why would they want to see the American people or whatever people out there? Why would they want to see you have more power? Now, they might protect your rights here and there. They might do certain things to make sure that you know that you are still buying into the system. So they'll give you the rights here and there where it matters and shit, where they think it matters and stuff. But when it comes down to it, no government is ever, because you like, we gotta think about the Bill of Rights. It's always like, I think what's the Ninth Amendment. It talks about these rights that are not established in the Constitution. Nobody ever brings up, what are these rights? What rights are these? What rights are these rights that wasn't written down? You know what I'm saying? Like, even our forefathers knew that it was a point in time that they wasn't going to be able to codify what we need right now. Because how could they think about fucking today's time and what the fuck we would be doing at this point? Yet you have people that are still trying to live by rules that were made in 1776, 1780 something. You know what I'm saying? 1776, the Declaration of Independence. It's like 1787 or some shit as far as the first Continental Convention. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, nigga, we living in 2024, my nigga. Like, why are we acting like we can't change rules to fit our time? We can't do shit to fit the time we in now. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, back then we needed a stronger federal government and all this different shit. Like, maybe we need to go back to the states. Maybe we need to go back to some state shit. But then again, niggas that's living in Texas, even though we love the low cost of living as it is right now, because it's obviously been going up and up and up. It's gonna probably keep going up. But at this moment, we do love the certain perks of what you would call let's see what this guy says. Sins of our fathers. Yeah, real talk. We all definitely living in the sins of our fathers, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I say, if we want to really make some change, we gotta understand, like, shit, the basis of our country. Nigga, our country is based off of revolution, my nigga. Yeah, we have so many people that want to get so stuck on the way things were, when it was a point in time where shit, things was everybody lived to themselves and did for their own self and shit and all that good shit right here on this land and this soil. And you know what I'm saying? It was fucked up little moments, you know what I'm saying? Indians getting killed off, niggas getting enslaved. But at some point, we got to a point where we could, I ain't gonna say we ain't really got to a point where we could all live and coexist, but it's gotten better. Let's just say that. It's gotten fucking better, bro. But the main thing is that each man should be able to live to his own means and pursue his own happiness, my nigga. We shouldn't be over here living in a world based off of rules that were established hundreds of years before us, man. But as the way it's going right now, bro, I really believe that motherfuckers don't really give a damn about the Constitution anyway. But I'm gonna go and I'm gonna throw in some right wing talking points that some people want to add into the chat. You know what I'm saying? Not to the chat, but to the conversation, because here we try to get a voice to both sides and see what we can come up with as a solution, man. So let's hear what this right wing commentator, and not even right, we just say conservative, has to say about the left.
But here's the million-dollar question that nobody has been asking throughout this process. This concept of systemic and institutionalized racism. If it really exists, let's examine every system and institution in American culture today. Higher education and academia, big tech, large corporations, Hollywood, the music industry, movies, everything that permeates our culture daily, all the way up to the federal government, is all controlled by the left.
Right.
So if there's really systemic and institutionalized racism, as our president of the United States says, who's really at fault to blame?
That is a great question.
Yeah, I actually think it is somewhat a good question, even though I do think she kind of leads in on the question a little bit by saying that everything is controlled by the left. I would definitely say Hollywood is controlled mostly by the left. But big corporations, maybe tech is a little bit more left leaning. But I mean, it's a lot of corporations that lean to the right. I mean, you got to understand there's plenty of right wing billionaires out there, or conservative billionaires and millionaires out there. So to say that industry and the whole market, whatever market it may be, you know what I'm saying, where you could just name any market, that it's all controlled by the left, is a lot. It's a little bit misleading. But the fact is that the left does control a big chunk of media. So a lot of what's getting put out there is going to be spent to their narrative. But I will say this: if you go look at what's the most watched news media, a news outlet out there, the top two are more conservative leaning. So that tells me that more people are seeking out conservative information and news. So if we still being misled at this point, then obviously we're getting misled by the conservatives, right? I don't know. It's two and two add up to me, bro. Maybe I'm wrong, but you know what I'm saying? Fox News puts out plenty of bullshit all the time. They called Kamala Harris a DEI hire, bro. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, maybe she did sleep her way to the top of some bullshit. I know a lot of that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit today, because I was like I said, matter of fact, let's go and get into the videos real quick. Because honestly, man, some of the hate they're giving on Kamala, bro, is very, very, you know what I'm saying? It's interesting. Let's just say that it's very interesting. But I definitely want to get on this whole point where that they talking about with this Willie Brown, man, because they love to bring up old Willie Brown, man. Love to bring up Willie Brown, man. Knee pass Harris is for real. Hey, I wonder how many dicks, what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene done suck to get to where she at, man. Like I say, you don't think it don't happen on all sides of the aisle? I find it funny that they call out this Indian, black, whatever she is, woman, and say that she fucked her way to the top. I seen shit where they was even putting her with Montel, all that shit, man. And they don't never try to bring out anybody else's history. You don't think nobody else has a history? I mean, we literally watched Bill get his dick sucked. Well, I ain't gonna say we watched it, but we found out about this shit, and he had to apologize in front of the whole, you know what I'm saying, country about this shit. You know what I'm saying? We got a president now, or not a president right now, even though he's done some little creepy shit himself with the people touching his hair legs and sniffing kids and shit. Like I say, these motherfuckers is weird, especially old senile motherfuckers. They definitely is some weird motherfuckers. But Trump, he grabbing bitches by the pussy. He's literally been accused of PDF and all the other stuff, graping and all that you can name on minors as well, bro. And people vote for this motherfucker, bro. So that's what confuses me. It's like, we don't like the PDFers. We don't like the grapists. Well, why are we voting for one? Why is these niggas out here voting for one? Don't make sense to me, man. Maybe I'm tripping. But yeah, let's get into this Willie Brown video. Let's see. Let's find Kamala though. Let's see what they got to say about Kamala, man. They hating on the possible first black Indian, whatever the hell. She'll multi everything, man. She every goddamn thing. She whatever she gotta be to win, nigga. She gonna be Indian 1 minute, she gonna be black the next minute. But honestly, can we say that she's maybe not be a better candidate than Trump, man? Like, Trump has already said the quiet part out loud, man. He's saying he don't want no more elections, my nigga. A lot of people ain't realizing that shit. Man said he needs these Christians to get out there and vote. So they don't gotta vote no more. So let's just see we're gonna see what's up with that, man. But let's start with Ben Shapiro. Yeah. Ben Shapiro on the Willie Brown situation.
Yes, we dated. It was more than 20 years ago, he wrote in 2019. Yes, I may have influenced her career by appointing her to 2 state commissions when I was Assembly Speaker, and I certainly helped with her first race for District Attorney in San Francisco. I've also helped the careers of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Governor Gavin Newsom, Senator Dianne Feinstein, and a host of other politicians. He does not note, however, that he never had sex with Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, or Dianne Feinstein, we presume. Kamala was not just another fling for Willie Brown. Some people around him thought it was serious. Herb Cain, a San Francisco Chronicle reporter who also happened to be Willie Brown's best friend, wrote a lot about his relationship with Kamala. In a June 19, 1995 report, Cain wrote that Brown had, quote, given up girls in favor of a woman, Kamala Harris, who is exactly the steadying influence he needs. In a December 14, 1995 piece on Brown's victory party, Cain referred to Kamala as the, quote, first lady in waiting. He reported that the hat Brown wore celebrating with "Da Mayor" written on it in all caps was a gift from Kamala.
But as the mayor!
But then, 11 days later, on the day after Christmas, Cain wrote the newly elected mayor was putting the word out it was over with Kamala. He said the breakup was shocking and flabbergasted aides, who viewed Kamala as the perfect antidote to his playboy tendencies. So, what happened? For that, you need to look in Willie Brown's own autobiography, Basic Brown. Without mentioning Kamala by name, he says his actual wife, Blanche Vitero, put her foot down once she saw the reports about how serious things were with Kamala. In the book, Brown writes that while Blanche, quote, usually maintained her cool about his philandering, every once in a while she made it clear who was boss. After Blanche read an item in Herb Cain's column that implied a girlfriend of mine and I were going to get married, this is what she said to a friend. Quote, listen, she may have him at the moment, but come Inauguration Day and he's up there on the platform being sworn in, I'll be holding the Bible. That's from Willie Brown himself. Why was he scared of his wife? Well, in the book, he also writes that she was a high priestess in Haitian voodoo religion. So maybe it was that. But more importantly, any notion this wasn't an affair because Brown and his wife were long estranged seems to be undercut by Brown himself. They broke up because Willie Brown was married. And maybe that explains the animosity Kamala clearly still has. Brown wouldn't leave his voodoo priestess wife to make Kamala San Francisco's first lady. As Fearing points out in his book, Kamala still refuses to acknowledge her debt to her former lover. Later in her career, as she ran for San Francisco District Attorney, with his help, she insisted, quote, "His career is over. I will be alive and kicking for the next 40 years. I do not owe him a thing. If there is corruption, it will be prosecuted." Kamala doesn't mention Willie Brown once in her autobiography.
I just gotta say that's very because Republicans always talk about law and order. That's very law and order of her to not want to even, you know what I'm saying, like look the other way if he was being corrupt. This man, if lended her way to the top, gave her that meat, you know what I'm saying, brought her on up, right? Shit, she don't give a fuck. She still gonna prosecute the nigga if he do some shit corrupt. So I'm just saying, man. I thought that Republicans and conservatives would find something quite endearing in that, though. I don't know, but let's play Megyn Kelly.
There's a debate on this on Twitter right now about whether her sleeping with Willie Brown when she was an up-and-coming, inspiring politician in San Francisco is fair game. It's part of a pattern of her ascending to positions that she does not deserve based on merit for other reasons. First, she slept with this guy, Willie Brown, who was this extremely popular, powerful congressman out in California, in the assembly out there, went on to become the speaker out there. And he put her in two different positions that she did not deserve when she was only 29 or 30. He was 60. Already that affair is sus. And she was making the equivalent of 130 grand a year by today's money for meeting twice a month for these medical boards and another position for which she had zero qualifications. He was trying to lay the road for her political career. He admitted that he's the one who helped her win the role as DA, and she was sleeping with him. I'm sorry, it's fair game.
Now, I will say, now she was working on some medical boards because I don't believe her field of studies was ever anything medical. If she was working any medical boards, that definitely sounds like getting put in a position just because you're sleeping with somebody. But as far as like DA, I want to say she passed the bar and shit. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I would assume that she passed the bar. I don't think they just give anybody that position of DA. So I get the criticisms there. I think a lot of motherfuckers is sleeping their way to the top. I think a lot of motherfuckers is sleeping with motherfuckers and promising them certain shit. I just think that, like, bro, it's a dirty underbelly. It's a very dirty surface to this whole, there's dirty layers. There's dirt inside these layers of this damn politician shit. And I think it's all levels to it as well. But like I said, we're going to really get into a lot of this politics shit. We're going to play one of my favorite motherfuckers, Jasmine Crockett, man. You know what I'm saying? I love her, man. I know a lot of people hate her, bro, but I'll fucks with her. But let's get back into some more of the Kamala commentary real quick.
Yeah, and then there's the DEI press secretary telling you that the DEI vice president is the future of the party here. And so the future looks kind of dim for the Democrats here, but this is no shocker either. Kamala Harris, she's the original Haktua girl. That's the way she got where she is. And the party's going downhill if it's in her hands.
That was tough. That was harsh.
Oh, man, I skipped past Miss Cynthia, man. I want to salute to Miss Cynthia. If you still out there in the chat, man, salute to you, man. Love the support you always give your boy. And, yeah, I'm trying to do this thing out here, man. But the original Haktua, man, that's wild. Because the Haktua girl, she blowing up off that shit. Yeah, that's an insult to this black woman running, or black Indian, whatever the fuck. I really don't know what she is, man. But this woman running for president and shit. And then we talk about DEI hires, bro. Why all the black people or women or minorities of some sort always got to be DEI hire? It's Tim Scott, a fucking DEI hire. Like, I hate when people, because that shit is just a racist buzzword for nigga, you shouldn't be in this position. Okay, if you don't want niggas in this position, cool. But let's not label all the black people as DEI hires because they black, bro. That's some wild shit. because we don't say these same things about Tim Scott. We don't say these same things about what's the dude, the governor of Kentucky. Well, he used to be the governor of Kentucky, but you know what I'm saying. We don't say nothing about the black conservative. We don't say Clarence Thomas is a DEI hire, man. I'm talking about just conservatives. I'm talking strictly to my conservatives here, man. Let's not do that, man, on every quote unquote liberal black person, man. That's some bullshit, man. That's just you're letting your racism show. Just like the Democrats when they get on fucking Clarence Thomas and call him all these crazy names, even though he is somewhat of an idiot at a lot of points, man. He interprets things a little weird for me. Surprised he even made it to being a fucking Supreme Court justice, man. But hey, salute to that man still.
Biden, do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then?
No.
Do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well, there was a failure of states to integrate public schools in America. I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a local decision.
So that's where the federal government must step in. That's why we have the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. That's why we need to pass the Equality Act. That's why we need to pass the ERA, because there are moments in history where states fail. Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm happy to answer a more specific question. But
male versus female.
There are medical procedures.
Okay. That the government has the power to make a decision about a man's body.
I thought you were asking about medical procedures that are unique to men.
I'll repeat the question. Can you think of any laws that give the government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator.
I'm going to say what a lot of these folks aren't saying. I'm just going to say it. If you think that there is consensus among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Kamala, Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken. And I'm going to say that because if they're going to come out and say all their little things on background off the record, but they're not going to be fully honest, I'm going to be honest for them. I'm in these rooms. I see what they say in conversations. A lot of them are not just interested in removing the president. They are interested in removing the whole ticket.
Yeah, you didn't have to tell us, man, because people didn't just jump out and start supporting, you know what I'm saying, Kamala off the rip. I know she raised a lot of money in her first 24 hours of announcing her candidacy and shit like that. And pretty much nobody really got a chance to vote for her, technically. You know what I'm saying? Democratic Party in so many ways put her on the people. So, and that kind of contradicts what AOC is saying, but I do kind of see, like, especially those first couple of days, like Obama didn't come out immediately. The Obamas, they didn't come out and support Kamala. A lot of other people didn't just come out, other than, like, you know, the main people was like Biden, the Clintons, shit like that. They came out and supported Kamala because a lot of people were already looking at this being like Biden running one term, her taking over on the second term anyway. So it kind of is working the way a lot of people was talking about it when Joe Biden threw his hat in the run, because Joe Biden has definitely taken a step back when it comes to the health. We're not going to deny that at all. It's very, very bad. But a lot of people are actually believing that Kamala can fare very well in this race. Now, I honestly don't think nobody's beating Trump right now, man. He the survived an assassination attempt. Like, even though it might not reflect in the polling, but I don't think Trumplicans take polls like that. I don't think they out here just trying to poll and shit. They know who they vote for. They know when it's time to go vote, who the fuck they going to go hit that ballot for. And like, you look around here, I'm in Texas. There's no Biden banners. There's no Biden flags. There's no Biden hats. Trump running Texas right now, and especially rural Texas. Maybe not in the city. They maybe have some Biden shit somewhere, maybe. But as far as the rest of Texas out here in the rural areas where I'm at, shit, it's Trump land out here, man. I don't think there's no beating that man. There's plenty of black people that's talking about voting for him. There's plenty of Mexican people talking about voting for him. We know a good majority of white people voting for him. Shit, I don't know, man. I don't see him losing, man. He'll be our first convicted felon president, man. That's amazing, bro. Cause now, niggas, we can be president, bro. No matter what. Like since niggas, they think niggas is, you know what I'm saying, fellas and shit, and all that good shit. Anyway, hey, not even a felony can deter you from being president now, man. Real talk. But we go get into this video, man. They saying the polls is close, man, with Kamala and Trump, man.
And again, whether it's Kamala Harris or if it happens to be anybody else, whoever emerges as the Democratic candidate, just the basic challenge they're facing is this. Here is the road to 270 electoral votes, and you see the 6 core swing states right here that are expected to decide the presidency. You see Harris would have to win a number of those states here. But the other challenge for her, and something that drove Biden from this race, is that Democrats were starting to get indications outside of these battleground states of unexpected trouble in places like Virginia, New Hampshire, Maine. In the popular vote in Maine, they give out electoral votes by congressional district there, even potentially in a state like Minnesota. So for Harris or whoever the Democratic nominee becomes, the two challenges are, first of all, shore up states like that Democrats weren't expecting to have to sweat over, and then get to work in those battleground states. Again, all those battleground states in 2020 were Joe Biden states.
$81 million in 24 hours? $81 million in 24 hours. $81 million in 24 hours. Keep in mind that the Biden-Harris ticket, when Biden was at the top of the ticket, and all of this time that they've been fundraising, they've raised about $92 million this entire time. The entire time. This woman raised $81 million in 24 hours. And our friends down there at the Midas Touch report that this is the largest in our history 24-hour donation to a political campaign. And 888,000 of the donators came from grassroots donations. And 60% of those people were first-time contributors in the 2024 cycle. Meaning new people who wasn't in before, at least financially, is in now. Baby, $81 million. What? Everybody should be endorsing at this point. Nobody is going to raise that amount of money. Stop playing. This is the nominee. This is the nominee.
Hey, it does make sense on the money stance, man. For her to garner that much support that quickly, I can get why they shoved her to the forefront of not even being a nominee, being the candidate. Fuck the primaries, fuck all that shit. So I will say, the government itself, and I say that I believe this on Trump's side as well. But as far as the Democrats, they have taken the Trump's behavior as an initiative to start forgetting certain rules that we go by in this what we call government system in America. So when you have a person like Trump that's saying all these different things as far as like, I'm gonna stop certain ways y'all win. We're gonna close the borders. Then we're gonna make sure that no American citizen, or no non-American citizen can vote and shit like that, which I technically agree with. Like I never understood why, non-citizens could vote in local elections anyway. I don't know why local elections would be ran that way unless it's to try to bring an advantage, get these people to vote Democrat, or maybe, I don't know, most likely Democrat, because the Republicans trying to get y'all ass out the country most time. At least they saying it. Even though I can show you evidence to the contrary that actually Democrats usually are the ones getting most immigrants out of the motherfucking country and shit. Obama being one of the most, like, I think he's the record holder for like by year, like over 400,000 immigrants being deported and shit. But as far as the rhetoric is concerned, it's always the Republicans talking about how they got to get rid of them, talking about how migrants is committing all the crimes and shit like that. So for them to say these things, they don't deport a lot of these damn Mexicans, bro, or any other immigrants. Mexicans being the general people, because they always talking about the border, especially here in Texas. Which, if you look at Texas right now, we even done passed a little law where I think they can just hem up anybody they suspect of being an immigrant, and pretty much like a stop and frisk, but now it's like a stop and paper request here in Texas now. Which I mean, I think I get why. I just hope that it's some type of like, I don't know, some kind of probable cause to it. Like, these niggas ain't speaking English at all or some shit. Like something, bro. Like, if they are somewhat Americanized, I hope you're not just stopping people just because they like Mexican, or they like seem like they foreigner because they might talk a little bit different, got a weird accent or something, like the African immigrants and shit like that. I don't know. I feel like we'll go down a slippery slope when we saying that we just gonna start stopping anybody that we assume to be not of this country. Because what the fuck does that even mean, bro? We got a melting pot of different people here. It's kind of hard to tell if they are Americanized, and then the whole not granting birthright to the children of immigrants. I think that's pretty wild. But I digress, man. Let's look at some of these comments out here. We are countries of immigrants. So, okay, yeah, I actually think I'm fucking with this comment right here. We're a country of immigrants that back in the day, the immigrants that came here wanted to become Americans. I don't think that that's changed much. I think every immigrant that comes here, for the most part, unless, coming over here for nefarious reasons, which I don't think that's the majority of immigrants coming over here, legal or illegal, because some people just have to speed up the process because of whatever's going on in their country. We know how bad Mexico and a lot of these other countries that immigrants are coming from can be. So I can see where some people have to get over here illegally and try to, at least establish where their kids can be born here or whatever shit like that, man. So I think the asylum shit does work to a certain degree. I think when we just start opening up the floodgates and just saying fuck it and having rhetoric like, well, we're gonna take care of you in this city and that city, and then when all these people flood in, they don't have the resources to actually take care of these people. That's when the problem comes in. Or when they saying all this shit, and then we don't have, I don't know if we have asylum cities here in Texas. So a lot of asylum cities is up in, up north a lot, shit like that. I know it's maybe a couple of them in the southern states, maybe like Arizona, maybe, and shit like that, or New Mexico. But as far as a lot of the people that come here to Texas, shit, you get here, man, you get captured, you're caught up, and you know what I'm saying, you done broke the law. So when it come down to it, it's just the risk that I feel like some people feel like they gotta take. I think it's kind of poor of us to judge in these situations a lot of times, but we do have to make this a very well vetted system when it comes to bringing immigrants over here, because if we just bringing anybody over here, we just letting anybody come over here, it definitely will become a problem, because the cartel uses immigration and all this to their advantage as well. And we always have to come into a play with that, which I do get part of what Trump be saying with all that shit, with the criminals that's coming over and shit. Because I'm over here in Texas, I get the elements of it. I've met a lot of Mexicans that's here legally and illegally, and all of them got stories, and they're very nuanced. So it's hard to come up with a legislation that'll help everybody, but we do have to kind of put the interests of our country first, just my opinion, because if we wanted to stay our country, and I'm talking about the people more than I'm talking about the government, even though the government somewhat has to be in our interest, even though they don't usually. If we want our country to be a certain type of way, we need to get into that interest of working our shit out. But it's gonna take a lot of time, bro, in us actually getting back reins of control over our government, holding people accountable for certain shit, because I'm just gonna say, if we go by the track record of Republicans so far, these niggas not getting rid of no damn migrants, bro. You know how underreported the borders be when these Republicans are actually holding office? They never talk about all these people coming over when Trump was in office, or any other Republican president for that matter, man. But we always talk about it as a problem during election time, because we want to get people out to vote. We want to get people worried about the migrants and shit, when a lot of you people, if you're not in Texas, New Mexico, you know what I'm saying, Arizona, Nevada, California, one of them places, a lot of y'all probably not even dealing with a lot of immigrants. I mean, it's some people, like I say, Florida too, like a lot of the southern states for the most part. And I know New York probably got a lot of immigrants as well. But for the most part, y'all immigrants that's up north and shit got to come through us anyway. So we kind of have to deal with the immediate surge of immigrants before anybody else does. But I'm finna look into some of these comments, man. Let's see. Daisy Sophia May. The ones coming in now are the ones giving food, clothing, shelter, IDs, and being told to go vote. Is that right that they can vote if they're not Americans? No, I don't agree that that's right. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree that's right at all. What about our veterans and our homeless that need help? Shouldn't they be helped first? Shit, most definitely. If their children are born here and they bring their backgrounds of culture, those children grow up and can run for politics. Which country will they care about? I don't know. If you grow up here in America, you will have a bit of let's just say like a Mexican American. If their parents were in Mexico, a lot of times they will have a strong Mexican heritage, but a lot of the Mexicans that I know that grow up here are very assimilated and care about America. Like, I know a lot of first generational Mexicans that were born here that ended up being cops, they ended up being serving our military, and they really give a fuck about this country. They you know what I'm saying, probably voted for Trump and all that shit. Not saying I know on every last one of those people is that went into law enforcement in the military, but I just say I know a lot of stand-up Mexicans that came over here the right way. I ain't gonna say they came over here the right way, because their parents probably didn't come over here the right way, but they were born here and they're contributing to our society just as much as everybody else. So that's the only part I'll push back on you with. But let me read some more of this. Okay, their homeland or America, and what America or what America is. My bad. I'm not judging them. I know some of them are okay. I know some of them really are with drug cartels and human trafficking, and there's no vetting going on, etc. There are true ones that really are seeking a better way of life. Definitely need to work out the issues here in America first. Oh, they always bring things up during election. Yeah, most definitely, they definitely do. You know what I'm saying? I always bring up shit during election. Everything becomes a selling point for your vote during election. That's why I get, even though I can't stand, and I don't know if anybody watched the beginning of this, but I had a song. We're gonna replay that song for Sonya Massey. I know a lot of people out there are slandering Sonya Massey's name, and I had a message for those people, and that's fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't shit if you can slander a woman's name who literally her last words were sorry, and before that were I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say a lot of these people that be claiming to be Christian, man, they don't see the godliness in people because maybe they're a little bit awkward, they're a little bit weird, they're a little bit this, or they're black, or they're whatever different country, denomination, whatever it is, man. But we got to start seeing the humanity in people, man. There's no reason for that woman to be killed. So I'm going to replay that, you know what I'm saying, real quick. Because I love the song, man. Fuck the police, man. Just got to say it right now, man. Not all police are bad, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, fuck the police, man, at this moment. Because they don't know how to get it right, man. They don't know how to, you know what I'm saying, not kill innocent people. And it pisses me off.
Man, fuck a cop, nigga. I don't want to hear nothing about no all cops ain't bad, nigga. Fuck all that, nigga. They let it call this nigga for help and he ended up taking a life, nigga. The fuck? Alright, come on. Whole trying to die by fully. All these bitch ass cops get a badge and a gun and think they a bullet. She got killed by one, so it's only right hit bitch ass die to a bullet. Shot her cause wet, she had a pot of water. What the fuck, nigga gotta be stupid. Hell nah, nigga ain't really just racist. Crazy ass bitch, you got her mistaken. Die for no reason. You the one kill the stupid ass nigga, you the only one crazy. I be damned I ever call the cops for what? So they can shoot me in my face? I would've crashed out with my mama and bumped down on the bitch ass with a Drake, nigga. She asked for help, his ass did the opposite and he took a life. I hope your bum ass go to prison, they hit your bitch ass with a knife. I pray this shit on sight. Probably get protest custody so they can save your life. I already know this shit ain't right, nigga. Yeah, we killing each other, little twin, but they had a real enemy, little twin. Wake up, nigga.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. TikTok, you know what I'm saying, rappers out here making songs and shit. At least, you know what I'm saying, in this one song, we ain't talking about killing each other. So I salute that, man. Even though a lot of people will say, well, he ain't talking no good, talking about killing the cop and blah, blah, blah. Fuck that nigga, man. Sean Grayson, you know, Nick Gott, that's the one that killed Terrell Miller. For people who don't know, if you watch some of my videos, you can go back a couple videos, and it's Justice for Terrell Miller, 4-year-old boy who was killed in a hostage situation where they decided to shoot through the kid to kill the assailant or the whatever, bro. I don't know if I said that right, but yeah. The point is, man, it's a lot of fucked up shit out here, man. But I let me get back to reading these comments, man. Okay, where was I at? They always bring up shit during the election, yeah. Like I was so that's why I was going with that whole thing, is that regardless, I know how I feel about with the situation with Sonya Massey, but the reason why this is a sensationalized story right now is mostly to get people riled up, to drain our energies, get our energies invested in this upcoming election. And hey, like I say, I'm not necessarily saying Democrats are the solution, but I don't know if Trump, I ain't gonna say I don't know. I know damn well Trump ain't the solution, man. This man Trump is gonna try to take over the country, man. and people don't give a fuck about it, bro, at all. At least if you vote Democrat, what's possible, it's going to be another election. After 4 years, every 2 years, it's gonna still be an election. I don't know what Trump means by there's not gonna be another election. I don't get what that means, bro. That's pretty wild. I mean, I get what he means, but is you saying no more presidential elections, no more Congress elections? Though, I mean, every 2 years we can't vote out Congress anymore, or what? What you gonna do? You gonna disband Congress? Congress no longer makes laws or rules anymore, or whatever it is. What, just the justices that can't rule on? Like, I don't know what Trump's America is like, but I know it's a lot of disbanding of certain fundamental structures of our government, and people can't tell me how that's going to help us. Not having OSHA, not having the Department of Education, not having these things. So let me get back to it. I said the reading. They ramp it up all good and laugh at Americans because the left and the right are part of the same bird. Most definitely. I'm feeling that shit. That's good to know that you know firsthand the knowledge of the immigrants that really do love America. Justice for Sonya Massey, for sure. Horrific what they did to her. If it really is real, man, don't be one of them people, man. They don't think you don't think it's real. I would I don't know. I ain't gonna just necessarily say that I can't find no understanding in people that don't think it's real, because I mean, at this point, it's just a desensitized to the violence of it all, bro. It's like it's another motherfucker just dying at this point. People ain't really feeling this shit like it used to be. Like, it was like real shocking 10 years ago, 20 years ago. At this point, it's like really another one. And the way it happens right now during this election cycle, bro, it's like it almost makes you wonder, is it all real? So I get it, but I definitely think it's a real situation. You got real people out there reaching out to people, trying to get justice for these two individuals, Sonya Massey and Terrell Miller. Terrell Miller, actually, the cops, Nick Gotch, he never was arrested for the murder of Terrell Miller, man. 4-year-old little boy, man. Unjustly, bro. It's really fucked up. But let me finish reading this comment, okay? Horrific what they did. Sorry if it's really real. Because our government is so corrupt. Look at 9/11. Yeah, inside job. Look at what they do with movie stages, etc. However, if it is real, I agree. F the police, yeah. Trump isn't speaking on Sonya Massey because he doesn't give a damn about her or us. Yeah. Ra, I agree with you on that. Have you noticed during 2020 the corruption government used Black Americans as a sacrifice? It's an evil satanic ritual. I definitely believe that we were used as a sacrifice, man. I definitely believe that the people organically were upset about what they seen on TV, and then it got co-opted by a lot of outside forces. And then we call this shit Black Lives Matter. And then now Black Lives Matter can't even be said by all people. Because I wouldn't mind saying, hey, look, bro, if George Floyd was a white guy and white people came out and was like, man, white lives matter, I can't believe they doing the white people like this, I would feel that shit, bro. I would understand them saying that shit. And I don't get why people don't understand that part of the people who are not a part of these movements, but are posting this shit because they experienced this police brutality, the racism, the being looked at in a certain type of way, like constantly in their lives, man. And like, I get it, man. Everybody experiences different. So some people don't want to recognize it, don't want to talk about their experiences, or don't even hold on to those experiences too much. And I get it. I try not to as well. But it's just very different out here, man. let's see. That's exactly what they doing, harvesting emotional energy. Yeah, most definitely. I believe it's a lot of energy vampires, man. Salute to King Oz, man. My nigga used to always talk about that, man. The energy vampires, man. They'll suck the life out you, man, if you let them. And our government is big on that. I think that they know that they can galvanize the people by putting tragedy in front of our face and telling us, go this direction. This is where you solve. This is how you solve this tragedy. Vote the Democratic Party, Republican Party, etc. You know what I'm saying? But it's getting out of hand at this point, man. Because people are not only becoming hip to the game, but some people are getting so confused that they don't really know which way to go. And then you'll have people like Thomas Matthew Crooks, who I most definitely believe was, you know what I'm saying, used as some kind of psyop, bro. Like this, they got to this boy probably right after graduation and got him somewhat trained up or mentally trained up to involve himself in this assassination on the assassination attempt on the president. I don't know who. I don't know if it was something that came from inside the party, because it's a lot of talks of certain Republicans not really feeling Trump, but not being willing to be able to say it amongst their party members because of this feeling of, you know, backlash, whatever's gonna happen. You know how they was ready to hang Mike Pence, what, 4 years ago? So I'm just saying, man. Okay. He means he's gonna stay in power. They're gonna fix it so good. Or fix up so good. Okay. Oh, fix it, yeah, fix it. Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you, man. He's trying to stay in power. I don't know what that power means for the rest of America, how our branches of government work. Like I say, I don't know what Trump's overall plans are, because Project 2025 or the Agenda 47, they kind of lay out certain shit. And like Project 25 kind of lays out a real detailed, like, but obviously he's distanced himself from that plan. And Agenda 47 doesn't give a very strong layout of what he plans to do with, like how he's going to correlate that to 2025 or whatever, if it's even a thing that's still in the Trump agenda. But the rhetoric kind of matches 2025 still to me. The Project 2025, how he's talking about fixing it, how he's talking about certain regulations being gone, OSHA, Department of Education, how he wants to reinterpret the 14th Amendment. And my whole question with that whole 14th Amendment, because I don't know if that's like with the third clause or some shit where it talks about people who rise up in insurrection against the government not being able to hold office unless a 2/3 Congress decides to go otherwise. I don't know why they decided to put that whole the 2/3 clause in there for the Congress, man. Like, if somebody raises up against the government and you not wanting this, there shouldn't be no reason why, you know what I'm saying, these people, like, because I was wondering that, man. I read the amendment, and then when I was reading the Agenda 47 in particular, because it said something about figuring out the right interpretation of the 14th Amendment. So I went to the 14th Amendment and I was reading it and shit, and Google search and shit, and I'm figuring that's what they're talking about, because you know, I believe that at some point he's gonna bring a lot of the insurrectionists in, especially that one guy with the buffalo horns on his head and shit, man. And for some reason he was very liked up there, man, like kicking it with the Capitol Police and everything. But I definitely, and it's just my hypothesis that, yeah, Trump is gonna figure out some kind of way to, you know what I'm saying, do the insurrection and then use that clause to bring the people in office, kind of how they did with the Civil War and a lot of shit. A lot of former Confederate soldiers and generals ended up being U.S. senators. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to think about. If you think about it, why do we need a president of the United States at all if people govern themselves and go on God's laws? Do we really need a government? Yeah, but then that's it. I feel you, but then what about the people who don't believe in God? Do we just not have them in the country, or what? Because there's some people that just don't believe, and then they're gonna be like, what? They're gonna be like, shit, well, I'm not governed by these laws and blah blah blah, and God isn't real, and y'all are just creating fairy tales and shit like that. And then it's gonna become a whole debate amongst the godly and the or the people who are theists and atheists or whatever. I didn't want to say godly and ungodly because I don't want to make people feel like I'm condemning them and shit like that. Which, you know what I'm saying? I think everybody somewhat believes in a higher power, but everybody doesn't believe in the same God. So that's where the whole conflict comes in, and what laws should be laws and all that shit. Because, you know, some people that's going to use all that shit to just push us into chaos, bro, regardless. Because some people just like, I think that sometimes you can have people that, you can have a Hindu, a Christian, a Muslim all in the room, and all of them being of sound morals can pretty much agree with a lot of shit. Then you have that one person that's wanting to push the paradigm a little bit more, that wants to, you know what I'm saying, force their beliefs on the rest of the world. And that's what I kind of see this whole, what they call the white Christian nationalist movement being. It's just, you know what I'm saying, they want to push the traditional values because they see men, in particular white men, I guess, you know what I'm saying, not having certain power and authority over the society anymore. And that becomes an issue for a lot of people out here. And a lot of the bringing that back, bro, is the Christian values, because it establishes a patriarchy off the jump. And it definitely kind of, if you interpret it literally, it's kind of like women are to be, you know what I'm saying, only for the house and shit like that. Like, it's some shit where, you know, some people can take it and find loopholes in there, but for the most part, it delegates the women to, you know what I'm saying, the rearing of the children, not rearing, but, you know, the raising of the children and shit like that, and the nurturing and all this shit and raising up. Whereas the man, you know, we supposed to establish, you know, order and law and all this different shit. And we taking care of the whole with the world, the establishment, you know, we the ones that govern, and we the ones that work, and we the ones that provide and bring it all home. We talk about just the Bible and how it establishes the roles of man and woman. So I can see why people want to go back to that, because it's a possibility of a woman president. Like, you know what I'm saying? We facing that reality again, man. We faced it back in 2016, and now we're facing it again. And you see how bad they slandered Hillary Clinton, even though she never was called the Haktua original. You know what I'm saying? So at least she didn't have to face that, I guess. She just, you know what I'm saying, accused of murdering a lot of people and, you know what I'm saying, being, you know, a PDFer with her husband and shit. But, you know, she definitely was scrutinized, and I feel like we hold these people into these type of standards when it comes to that, but we don't hold Trump to that at all. Trump doesn't get held to a standard at all. Trump can definitely do no wrong. I do, okay. Oh, I do feel it. I don't mean any disrespect. It's wrong all day long. I'm not sure exactly. I'm probably reading that out of context now, how far back I'm in. But okay, yeah, I definitely agree with this this comment right here. Dems have Democrats, and as far as in a public showing of faith, are very non-existent when it comes to the Christians. You could say it's like, number one, like, it's a lot of I'll say black politicians that are a little bit more in faith. You know what I'm saying? And I say on Democrat and Republican side. but for the most part, it's mostly a majority of Republican following, and some of the leadership. I don't agree with all the leadership. Like I don't think a majority of Republican leaders are Christians, but I do believe majority of its following are definitely Christians. And it's interesting that they are so Christian until it's a nigga getting killed. When a nigga gets killed, niggas don't become Christian no more. Niggas forget the Christian shit. And salute to 985J, man. He one of them originators with your boy, man. Salute to that nigga, man. He been fucking with a nigga for a long time. I've been fucking with him for a long time. Salute to him, man. But like I say, when it come down to some niggas dying, bro, we kind of forget so fast. And I mean so fast our Christian values, man. Because we decide to paint these people as criminals, bro. Even with I say, I don't mind this. I'm gonna come to some shit. Man, come on, how that real? To you know what I'm saying? Go after her policies, man. Go after who she is and her track record is and bad for her. Talk about her looking dick because woman is dick. Just be real. We going after men. We saying, "Oh man, because he's women." No. I don't agree with that. Now, if he's done like he's been charged with much sleeping with women. Yeah, my bad, man. I had some technical difficulties, man. But I done lost my whole train of thought when that happened, man. Heck yeah. Matter of fact, I don't know if anybody wanna hop up on the chat with me and discuss some of this. I got a couple more videos to go through and shit like that, but y'all more than welcome to. And we can get some of the people who watching, man, opinion on the situation, man, when it comes to American politics, man, and why America is so divided. Because I'm only talking about mostly the political aspect, even though I have mentioned a little bit the racial components as well. But it's definitely yeah, that was one of the questions right here, man. Are black people inherently prone to violence? And the reason I ask these questions is because I go on a lot of different podcasts and different YouTube channels, and people have a very disparaging idea of black people, man. And it's mostly the inner city black person, so I will give those distinguishing characteristics. But for the most part, it's still disparaging, and it's mostly in general. They mostly talking generalities when it comes to this shit. But let me get to where. All right. So yeah, I posted the link in the chat, man. If anybody want to come up, you're more than welcome to. Now, if I don't just get you up right away, I'm very new at this motherfucking shit, bro. I don't usually do the whole lives. I create videos and edit them and put them together and shit, but not really editing as much now. But a lot of my earlier work is more edited work, shit like that. So y'all definitely fuck with me if you want to. But we're gonna get into some more videos real quick, man. Let's start with, let's see, man. Cause we still on the political tip right now. We're gonna really get on my favorite politician, even though I really can't say I really have a favorite, but the politician I'm very familiar with because she's from Texas and she's all over social media causing up a ruckus and a stir right now. Okay, well, I salute to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we're gonna get on Jasmine Crockett real quick, man, and see what she got to say about some of this foolishness in the government, man. Cause man, she a sister, man. She and I feel like she tell it like it is, man. I think she's one of the few ones that's really telling it like it is about what's going on in the government, man. So we gonna check out some of what she talking about. Let's start out with the conflict she had with Marjorie Greene in the I think it was Merrick Garland hearing where they were trying to see about his whole investigation into Biden and all that shit, or trying to get him to investigate Biden or Hunter Biden, whichever one it was at the time.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order, Mr. Chairman.
That's beneath even your
Point of order.
Mr. I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl? I don't think
we are going to move, and we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion.
So who will have to fail? Okay. All right. We're suspending. All right. Motion table. Now the chair recognizes Ms. Greene for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's?
It's me.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's a
I'm
parliament.
trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike
I
those
had no idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just.
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this
I
is
will
what
let
y'all
you get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Ms.
I
Crockett.
can't hear you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look, Chairman,
come
can we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, Chair. Chair,
I know why
okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes
Not cute.
Ms. Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah, man. But as you can see, man, this is what government has come down to, man. Name calling, and a lot of people criticize Representative Crockett for what she had to say, but didn't necessarily point out that Marjorie Greene was the first person commenting on the eyelashes and shit and her fake eyelashes in the way. You know what I'm saying? As if, like, what does that got to do with whatever y'all there for, man? At this point, she was trying to get y'all on task, which I think all American people can agree that we want our government officials on task, whatever they're supposed to be doing, whatever business they need to be handling, they need to handle that shit, and not whatever side mission that she was talking about that obviously only one other person answered her on. And I don't know exactly the whole full context behind it, but I do know that they were there for what Ms. Crockett was addressing. Now, a lot of times when niggas are addressed a certain type of way, and I'm saying nigga, I'm saying this, you know what I'm saying, in all politeness, man, because it's not all white people doing this, man, but certain white people like to try to diminish what we got to say, you know what I'm saying, about these things. Diminish the fact that a lot of this shit be racially motivated. That a lot of this shit be looking down on us as if, why are you even in the room? And Ms. Crockett, like I said, she was elected and she has plenty of credentials. I believe she's in law as well. And I believe that when you get to a certain level where you know what I'm saying, are one of those ones in the room trying to get these laws together, there should be a certain level of respect and dignity amongst you know what I'm saying, with peers, congressmen and whatnot. And what I don't get, is that people don't seem to have respect for the ones that are calling the government out on this bullshit a lot, man. Especially like Crockett said on another thing, like they playing in your face all the time, man. We ask them for certain things, like you can go and poll the American people, and most of the American people don't want, you know what I'm saying, like Roe v. Wade to go to states, or want like universal background checks on guns and shit. Like most Americans want this. Now, I'm not for, you know what I'm saying, taking away anybody's right to bear arms or any of that shit. But I do believe that there is a lot more responsible ways of going about this. Because I've seen people go to a gun store and get a gun in 30 minutes. And I've seen other people go to a gun store and wait 3 weeks. I don't know why that happens. I'm one of those 3-week motherfuckers, man. Every time I buy a gun, it's like damn near a week, 2 weeks. I ain't gonna say always 3 weeks, because sometimes I just kind of wait a extra long time to make sure that the background shit is done. And I have had my little fair share of trouble here and there. I ain't been convicted of a felony or nothing, but I've definitely had certain incidents happening in my life. So I can get why maybe my background might be different from another person's, but I've seen people with my type of background, whole different color though. They a white person, and they go in that bitch and get that bitch in 30 minutes. I don't know what the process be behind that shit. I don't know if they making sure with me a little bit harder than they are with other people. And I ain't saying that, like I said, I don't like to try to make everything racially motivated. But if you black in America, you know this shit. You notice the certain little nuances in how people act and how certain shit You know what I'm saying? Some people can go right through the door, but you gotta get stopped and frisked. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. It's just it's or you get paid a little bit more attention to in the store when you're out shopping and shit like that. It's the little nuances in this shit, man. And I think we gotta pay attention to that more. I think white people gotta even notice that shit on their side of the aisle. Like, hey man, give these people a little bit more leeway, man. And that's where I'm gonna go into my next little question real quick, man. Are white people inherently racist? Because we know on the black side, man, we're called violent a lot of times, and sometimes even low IQ and this different that and the third. But on the white side, they have to deal with the racist card. Now, me, like I answered on the other side, I don't believe black people are inherently prone to violence. I don't believe white people are inherently racist. Do I believe white people can sometimes benefit from being white as opposed to a black person, maybe? You know what I'm saying? I can agree to a certain extent. I believe that America has a lot of nuances, and I believe that when we talk about class in America, black and white was definitely a thing in America, and it's definitely a thing still in America. But I don't know if it trumps class these days, because rich people are coming together, man, to figure out more ways to extract wealth from the people, bro. And there tends to be a lot of us and a lot of poor whites and a lot of poor Mexicans and shit that have to end up sitting here trying to figure out how to deal with the rising cost of all this shit, man. And I think the bigger question is, you know what I'm saying, white people or even people in general inherently prejudiced based on their upbringings? And I believe that is I think that's more of a possibility than just one side being inherently something. I believe we all taught certain things growing up and coming up in this shit, man. We don't get to pick who our teachers are when we first start out in this thing we call life. So, like for me, I was very strongly, man, fuck white people, man, fuck establishment, fuck all that shit, bro. I was really on that shit hard growing up as a youth, man. But I kind of experienced racism like right in your face, nigga. Laws to calling me ain't shit. Woo, I ain't even committed a crime yet, man. I'm like 14, 15 years old, just ride my bike in the streets, man. Going to my partner's house, man, trying to, you know what I'm saying, hunch on some little girl and shit. Shit like that, man. A young nigga doing young nigga shit, man. But you know, I'm not out here breaking in nothing. I'm not vandalizing nothing. I'm not really hanging around nowhere that I'm not supposed to be. And I was still kind of harassed, man. And I realized that certain people just gonna look at you a certain way because that's what they think, that like criminal. When some people look criminal, they think blackmail. You know what I'm saying? Just like how a lot of us as black people, we hear racist, we think white male, even white female sometimes. But you know what I'm saying? I think the white females a lot of times get more leeway because of the whole patriarchy thing that they be trying to put out as though what you would call it, oppression Olympics shit, man. Where, you know what I'm saying, everybody wants to be oppressed in some type of way these days. White women talking about they're oppressed by the man. Shit, gays talking about they're oppressed by the straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can go in so many layers. So don't let you be a black gay woman. Shit, you know what I'm saying? They gonna definitely feel the most oppression in this like oppression Olympics today. And then, like I say, it is real to a certain degree. It's definitely real. Like, look at the number of trans people getting killed or gay people getting killed. 9 times out of 10, they're black as well. So, but that's my whole point with the whole when it comes to race and all that shit, because it's so nuanced that a white person can hop into, oh, I get discriminated against because I'm gay, but then turn around and discriminate against gay black people because, or ignore just gay black people because, you know what I'm saying? We don't tend to, like, even black people, like when somebody's gay, just like in most parts of reality in America, we don't tend to believe that these people, that's the normal. We don't tend to believe that that could be a norm, that they could be born this way. It's a choice. It's a this, that, and the third. And like I say, I'm not no gay advocate. You know what I'm saying, at all. I don't agree with it at all. I don't fuss with the shit. But I can understand where the grievances come from and why they feel like they need to fight for some type of equality, some type of you know what I'm saying, fair treatment. Because there is a lot of ways where we will make it hard to be gay, make it hard to be trans. Even these days, we're making it hard to be straight in a lot of ways, but people don't like to talk about that part of the paradigm. You know what I'm saying? So we end up in a very peculiar situation, man. Very peculiar, bro. Where because we have these biases that we've been raised up believing all our lives, it becomes hard to deal with the other side, because we believe like this is our way of life, this is their way of life, and there ain't no in between, and there ain't no people that's like me that like fucking country music and, you know what I'm saying, some rock. I don't like that metal shit when niggas get to yelling and yeah, that's when I be like, man, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Like I say, shit, I don't think I've been through enough pain to listen to a nigga yell in my ears about Satan or whatever the hell else they be listening to on that heavy metal shit. Oh yeah, man. Let me look at the rock comment right here, man. I saw the bad butch built body chick at interrogation recently. Rod, you in the same state as her or something? Like, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's interesting. If you know what I'm saying, that could be possibly one of your reps. You know what I'm saying? I wonder what's the demographics, where you at and shit, and shit like that. Cause see, Crockett, she's what, Dallas, I think what, Dallas, Arlington. She a lot of cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So she's a rep for that area, from Dallas to like Seagoville, a lot of different shit like that, man. She's a rep for all that right there, man. And that like Dallas, kind of like South Dallas and going out toward Fort Worth, but not quite. You know what I'm saying? She's a rep for like certain parts of Dallas and Tarrant County. I had it written down, but I didn't bring my notebook out here, and I'm not gonna run in the house to go get it. But yeah, man, if she is in your area, I just wonder what the demographics is, because, man, it seems like Marjorie, you know what I'm saying, Taylor, man, she seemed like a nuisance, man, to me. Oh, okay, it was on TV. Oh yeah, man. I wonder. I'm glad. Who was the head person, like a woman, or was it a man? 'Cause I know a lot of people kept making it all about the women shouldn't be in the Secret Service and shit like that, and I found that shit to be kind of laughable. But I wonder who the head, because some people were saying that she was the woman that was in front of Trump was the head of Secret Service. I never watched the interrogations or nothing though, so I don't know exactly. But you know, them motherfuckers pissed off about that Trump shit. Like, they ready to blame anybody and everybody for Trump, bro. Democrats, Republicans, all that shit. Okay, it was a woman. So she is, see, I will find it hard to believe, bro, if they ever, you know what I'm saying? Like if they ever have another woman get into the Secret Service, that shit'll surprise me. Because they definitely made this a whole woman not being equipped for the job thing instead of the Secret Service not being equipped at doing their fucking job, period. Because if they flipped that shit, if they acted on all the times that people were calling out, because I talked about this in my other American Divided part 1. These motherfuckers knew at least 4 to, you know what I'm saying, 4 or so minutes in advance. But I say it was at least about 20 to 30 minutes in advance based on the more recent updated information. Because people, you know what I'm saying, were seeing this man, and maybe like it was. I know they seen him come in with a rangefinder. I don't know how long that was before, but when he started climbing up the building, it was like 30 minutes before. So I find that odd. And then when somebody pointed out that he was on the roof with a gun, that was at least 4 or 5 minutes before. And the sniper that was on the roof as well, behind Trump, when he was there, you could see when they're doing the speech, you could see the nigga getting in position. This motherfucker was pointed, he was just facing that nigga direction, bro. He should have been able to get off a shot before Thomas Matthew Crooks. And I always say this nigga full name now, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how they reported that shit. Thomas Matthew Crooks, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Lee Harvey Oswald, man. Like, they always got 3 names and shit, man. John Wilkes Booth. These assassination motherfuckers always got all they shit out there, bro. All 3 names, nigga. So you gotta call him Thomas Matthew Crooks, man. That's just one of them things I feel like you gotta do with the attempted assassination, assassin or whatever. But yeah, man, this nigga literally, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the sniper is concerned, had a shot, bro. He had a shot well before the situation came to a head, bro. Why is it that this man was able to get off 3 shots? I'll never understand that shit. Nobody will never make me understand that shit. How a 20-year-old who couldn't even make the whatever the RCA or whatever they call that shit, the drill team on his in them high schools and the schools and shit, the little kind of military camp type thing. He couldn't even join that shit, bro, because he was a bad shot. They kicked him out of that shit. And then 2 years, 3 years later, he's shooting at the president and missing by like an inch. It's wild, man. It's wild. Yeah, he climbed up the building and positioned himself on top of the law enforcement command post. Oh, I didn't get that information yet. It was the command post, man. I know I've been lacking on the assassination shit, man. Cause I wanted to really cover that in detail and really try to figure out if this was a inside job or not. What if it was like for some people that don't believe this even was real? You know what I'm saying? Because these days, like I say, nothing's real anyway to a lot of people, bro. They so desensitized to this violence and shit and to this political rhetoric that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of this shit to a lot of people feel like psyops and shit, man. And I can't knock the people for that shit, bro. I really can't knock the people for that shit, man. It's really wild, bro, the fact that people believe that the government is actually, like, it's not capable of these kind of things like psyops and being able to paint a narrative a certain way on a situation like 9/11 and all that shit, because you come and find out that these people were trained by America and all this different shit like that. So the America's involvement, even if for some people who might not believe it's just an inside job, you can't say that America didn't have any involvement, because just look at the situation and the stats at hand, man. It's kind of wild, bro. It's kind of wild, bro. It's just my opinion, man. But as much as I condemn the political violence, I can't knock that, you know what I'm saying, Donald Trump is bringing this shit on himself, man. And I'm going to play a video that I played in my last America Divided video to kind of give people a little bit more, which I know people who are kind of like on where I'm at with it have already been aware of Donald Trump's rhetoric. But I'm going to let Donald Trump speak for himself.
This is the incident that led a judge to declare it's plausible Donald Trump incited violence.
Get out! You know, in the old days, which isn't so long ago, when we were less politically correct, that kind of stuff wouldn't have happened. Today we have to be so nice, so nice. We always have to be so nice.
The woman getting pushed and two other anti-Trump protesters accused Trump supporters of assault and battery and accused Donald Trump himself of incitement to riot. The judge in Louisville, Kentucky ruling there is enough evidence against the president to allow the case to go forward. During the campaign, then candidate Trump clearly enjoyed being a tough guy.
Get out of here! Get out! 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 Get him out of here! Shame on you! Shame on you!
And the lawsuit identified other rallies where the president allegedly incited violence.
Bye-bye!
Such as this one in Las Vegas in February 2016.
Bye-bye! Look, see, he's smiling. See, he's having a good time. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks.
A few weeks earlier in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Mr. Trump told the crowd he had been warned protesters might have tomatoes.
So if you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees. I promise. I promise.
The president's verbal attacks, a reliable way to stir up the audience. Although on this October 2016 day in Green Bay, he didn't know he was insulting a supporter.
Get him out. Get him out.
A supporter who had fallen ill. The commotion coming from people shouting for a doctor, starting a chant of medical. But Mr. Trump didn't realize what was going on and kept on with the lines that normally got him cheers.
There's always one.
Typically, though, that kind of talk was red meat for his supporters during the campaign. And on that day in Cedar Rapids, when he said he'd pay the legal fees of any supporter who knocked the crap out of somebody, he also added,
There won't be so much because the courts agree with us, too.
But that certainly remains to be seen. This is the incident that led a judge.
Yeah, man. As you can see, man, Trump has been on this shit well before he was even president. The most of that was from the campaign of him being president in 2016. And Trump hasn't died down any on his bullshit rhetoric. Now he's more focused on trying to attack the borders and attack education and attack administrative law. But it all points to him dictating the future of this country to how he sees fit. And the fact that the Trumplicans that are all about freedom, that are all about being a party of freedom. They freed the slaves, remember? They always tell niggas that. Republicans freed the slaves. Well, if you think this right here is the party of Lincoln, my nigga, you are forever lost. Like, I don't give Lincoln or any one president any credit for the advancement of black people at all, but let me find Trump again, man, because Trump he likes to say he's the most pro-black president since Abraham Lincoln, man. Let's hear him talk about it a little bit.
Honestly, it should be 100% of the black people should vote for Trump, because I did more for black people than any president other than Abraham Lincoln. It's true. true. I did more than any president other than Abraham Lincoln. Think of it, criminal justice reform. I took care of the black colleges and universities.
And let's be clear, man. That's bullshit. A bunch of bullshit. First off, Trump did definitely do his part in some parts in like criminal justice reform and in donating to HBCUs. But he's also simultaneously, while he was in office, cutting funding to education, putting quote unquote known conspiracy theorists at the head of these whatchamacallit, whatever it is, like the Board of Education and shit. He's putting known people who are usually regulated, like the people that he, like the Treasury person. I think they were like a Wall Street tycoon and shit. Like Trump puts people in position that would usually be the ones getting regulated by these same entities, these same government structures. So Trump knows what he's doing. He's trying to get the people who don't want these things to be in play to run them and cause defects and problems in these government programs and shit, to say that these are bad programs later on down the line to get rid of them. Just my opinion. I'm not necessarily saying I got the blueprint of Trump all the way, but just from reading his rhetoric and then turning around and turn around and do the opposite. But like I say, Trump, you just got to pay attention to the rhetoric, bro. Trump will always tell on himself in the long run if you listen long enough, man. But the question I posed, what can mend the division? And I'm not sure what can mend the division at this point, because everything's so polarized, man. Like, a lot of people used to believe that we were in a post-racism America after Obama. But I think black people, especially the ones in the inner city and the ones in rural America who tend to hold on to their sense of blackness, have different experiences than the rest of the people who believe that it was a post-racial America. I mean, Trayvon did happen during Obama's presidency. Mike Brown happened toward the end. So these things are definitely a problem here in America, man. And a lot of people, like they say, don't like to point to the racial component of police brutality. And you don't have to, because it happens to many white people as well. The only thing I think the difference is that white people don't go out and march for their people that have died. Like, a lot of white people don't even know who Daniel Shavers is. The man who, I think he was like a journalist of some type of sort. And police made him crawl to his death and killed him. Rifle said, well, you're fucked on it, I want to say. You can go look up Daniel Shavers for people who are not familiar with that. But that was a white boy who got killed around the, I want to say this is during Trump's presidency, though. And like I said, the trend is that when black people see one of their own get slain like that by the police, the people that's meant to protect us, we get up and we try to do something about it. We get out and we protest. We post things. We say stuff. We try to make awareness to the situation, like a lot of people are doing with Sonya Massey and a lot of others. But when it comes to white people, a lot of times, man, they don't seem to care about that. But they will mention it when niggas start fighting for our own people, man. That's when they start mentioning all them white people that's getting killed that they didn't give a fuck about before. And I'm not saying that for all white people, because I believe there are some white people that probably do care and are true advocates of police reform and stopping police brutality. But this is not the form for most Americans. It's not. And I criminality, people who are killed, and still being murdered. We have to wake ourselves up to this shit, man. They all but call Obama yes, you definitely right. You definitely right about that. You posted put that up. I don't know why it's not letting me put that comment up, man. That's wild. Hold on, man. Quick. But robbery, I see that comment out there, man. That's you definitely right, man. Obama faced a lot of hate just because he was black, bro. And you can, like I say, you can really go and criticize Obama's presidency outside of him being black, and it's a lot of criticism that can be laid out there. Technical difficulties is real, man. Right now, I don't know how I got kicked out my own studio twice in a live stream, but hey, I say I'm gonna master this shit out after a couple lives, and so I keep on doing this shit. But like I was saying, man, they have definitely used all this shit with the politics and Trump in general in a way to divide us even more than we were before. Where the Republicans had they certain feelings about Obama and niggas in general in America, but they knew they had to go within the parameters of how society has already been structured, and they would push their extremism where it see fit. And I get it, like they kind of put themselves like the Tea Party. I know a lot of people, they was not taxed. They didn't want to be taxed any more than what has already been done. Or they had a problem with taxes to some degree, but the extremism that they put against Obama, which Obama wasn't the first person to call for taxing more on the rich and some shit like that. I mean, it's been something that's been, you can go name Republican presidents and shit like that that have called for more taxes on the rich. Hell, one of the highest tax rates was under Reagan, and Republicans seem to love that nigga, right? But I just think that we got to have more of a nuanced conversation. We got to understand that it was a point in time where Republicans were letting a lot of immigrants into the country. Where Reagan again had one of the highest immigration rates during his 8 years of presidency. People don't tend to bring that up because supposedly he was so great for the economy, even though a lot of his neoliberalism is what put us in the situation we are today. So I think there's just a lot to think about, man. Let me see. I can click on the comments now. I do criticize Obama too, but I respect him as a man. And I think that's the difference between a lot of us who like black in general and the ones who do criticize him, Obama. A lot of us are criticizing him on the merit of what he did in office and not because he's just this black man, as opposed to on the other side, you'll have a lot of people that's just like, well, Obama just was this, that. He's a Marxist. He's a communist. He's a woo-woo-woo. And they just throw out a bunch of buzzwords to say he's just a bad guy, as opposed to really naming out something that he did. You know what I'm saying? Something that he did in particular that would warrant all this criticism. And some people do have some legit arguments. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not coming from the right as well, or the Republicans or the conservatives or whatever you want to call them as well. Like, they don't have legit arguments at times. But for the most part, it's that he's some Muslim terrorist that shouldn't even have been president. And I think that's more based in a race thing. His name being Barack Obama is already frightening enough to the average rural white American. I don't think he has to do anything else outside of being named Barack Obama. Like, if his name was John Mitchell or some shit like that, I don't think he would have the same problem. But then you got to think about it like this. Why haven't any black Republicans been pushed up to the forefront of being a nominee?
All right, black Republicans, let's talk. Tim Scott just suspended his presidential campaign. Daniel Cameron, who was running for governor in Kentucky, just lost. Black Republicans, you know my perspective on both of these men and on the Republican Party, but I'm gonna put it aside for a second. This is the highest ranked black Republican politician in the country. He's a phenomenal speaker. And every time I would bring up the fact that the Republican Party isn't interested in doing anything for black people, you'd bring him up. And you'd say, what about the opportunity zones? Which created an incentive to invest in lower developed areas, oftentimes black and brown areas, which I appreciated the opportunity zones. You were always so adamant to tell me how incredible this man's resume was as a black Republican politician. Why was he polling at 2.2% in a Republican primary? This is a real question. What do you think that the Republican Party, which, let's be honest, is mostly white, 85% white, right? Most of the diversity in the country is on the left. What do you think that your party saw in him and was like, oh, fuck no? Absolutely not. Daniel Cameron, the Republican candidate for governor in Kentucky, just lost to a Democrat. For anybody who doesn't know anything about the politics of Kentucky, finding a Republican in Kentucky is like finding a trust fund at a Taylor Swift concert. How does a Democrat beat a Republican for governor? And not just any Republican. This man was endorsed by Trump, your favorite. Andy Beshear, the Democrat that he lost to, is like a staunch defender of abortion rights. Black Republicans, he also would have been Kentucky's first black governor. And the first black governor in America post-Reconstruction. What did Republicans not see? What made them stay home? What could it possibly have been? I know it feels like they've picked you, but the next time you're with them at the Cracker Barrel talking politics, I just want you to know that they want your vote, but they want you nowhere near positions of power. And I know why.
I think we all know why. And the crazy thing about it, you don't even have to be a black guy. Just take the one Indian guy. I forgot the man's name. He's got one of them names that's really hard to even really remember or pronounce. So I'm really glad I don't remember the guy's name, because I don't want to botch the man's name. But he was vying for candidacy and all that during the I want to say both different times, like during when Biden and Trump were running against each other, and now he had did his little press run trying to get his name out there. And this Indian guy got so much, like, I think, who was it? Was it Marjorie Green, Taylor Green? I want to say she was one of the ones, or matter of fact, I think it was Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter on one of those Fox and Friends shows and shit, pretty much said that she couldn't vote for him because he was Indian. And like, even if you go look at how conservatives reacted to the vice president for Trump, whatchamacallit, JD Vance, he has like an Indian wife, and a lot of hate was going toward her when they found that out. I just find that to be kind of interesting, is that all these diverse people over here in the Republican Party seem to be shunned, while the white people seem to be held up to this high regard, like Trump. Like, Trump can do no wrong. Again, I just can name multiple times this man has committed some type of felony or some kind of heinous act, or said something that's just wild, and nobody cares. He wants to give cops more immunity. And this is what cops are doing out here right now.
Against officers with the American Fork Police Department.
In your hand, you're under arrest.
For what?
Yes.
For what?
Get your ass out
For
of the
what?
car. All right, fine, fuck it, just get out.
For
Out.
what?
Out right now.
17-year-old Bryce Masters was driving his car when Officer Timothy Runnels pulled him over for a traffic stop. When Masters refused to get out of his car, Runnels tried to drag him out, then shot him with a taser. The dash cam video shows that Masters was able to crawl out of his car before falling unconscious face down on the pavement. Although using a taser is considered normal police practice, Runnels kept the trigger on for about 23 seconds, the equivalent of 4 cycles of the taser. After handcuffing him, Runnels lifted the unconscious teen by his arms and dragged him several feet to a driveway before dropping him face first into the concrete. Because of how long Runnels had the taser on, it caused Masters to suffer a convulsion and go into cardiac arrest. Paramedics revived him, but his brain was deprived of oxygen for 6 to 8 minutes while he was in cardiac arrest, and he had to be placed in a medically induced coma. Runnels was fired from the Independence Police Department after his incident with Masters. He pled guilty in 2015 and was sentenced to only 4 years in prison. Is 4 years long enough for what he did? What sentence do you think he should have gotten?
You've got to let me call somebody. No, I'm calling you. You can't not let me call anybody. Get away from me! Ow! God, I'm gonna call up.
Angela Garbanio was presumed to be drunk when she was pulled over for suspicion of driving while drunk. When she got to the police station and refused to take a blood alcohol test, Officer Weil Willis shut off the camera in the interrogation room for several minutes. Once it is turned back on, Angela is seen lying on the floor with blood. Shortly after, she is brought out on a stretcher. The video footage shows Garbarino repeatedly asked him why he wouldn't let her make a phone call, but he ignored her requests, which is why she kept trying to leave the room. She knew the camera was rolling, but wanted to ensure that there was proof that Officer Willis was
Yeah, before I go into the other part, I just want to quickly get on this right quick, man. Yes, the government definitely had a hand in bringing drugs into black and impoverished neighborhoods. But the thing is that some people believe in our country so much that they would not believe that whatsoever. It doesn't matter if I was to lay out all the court hearings, the books that's been wrote about it, they still wouldn't give a damn, bro. And that's what's so crazy. Like, they done made TV shows and all about this, but it's still a good section of white America that won't believe that drugs were brought into the community. It's not just white America, it's probably black America as well, because, I mean, it's about what you believe and what you want to believe, and some people just can't see the government or the government of America as such heinous criminals that they are. They have been for so long. Like, when people talk about war crimes, America is one of the leading countries when it comes to the accusation of mutilation, all these different things that a dignified society would never do. But yeah, it's definitely wild, bro. It's definitely wild out here. The fact not only was they bringing drugs into our country and putting them in these neighborhoods, but they're also bringing guns through places like Chicago and Baltimore, New York. So you gotta open your eyes and see, and they weren't just putting it in any particular neighborhood. They were putting it in the neighborhoods of the poor black folks, or a lot of places where these gangs and shit started to manifest. And then they wonder why so much black on black crime now to this day. And redlining, and there's so much to it, bro. So much. It's a lot of layers to it, man. But yeah, Rod's definitely on to something with that, man, for sure. But let's find other part to this police brutality. Because remember, Trump wants to give these people more qualified immunity.
Kill him to save their own lives. This is one of the clearest cases of police misconduct that you'll ever see. Not only did one officer clumsily shoot the other, but they fired their guns for no reason. Officers Ruiz and Murad were cleared of any charges, as it was concluded that they acted in self-defense. The only compensation that Aguilera and his family received was a $2.97 million payout by Los Angeles County. What punishment would you have given to these officers, who clearly had a part to play in an innocent man's death? In April 2020, Cody Greenland was in the parking lot of a Target when police responded to a call of an unidentified male possibly breaking into cars. His mother had dropped him off at the Target where his girlfriend was shopping at, and he was carrying a duffel bag of personal items after being kicked out of his apartment. After not being able to reach his girlfriend with his mother's phone, Greenland tried to put the bag inside of his girlfriend's car, but it was locked. When he couldn't open the car door, he went into a nearby store for some food before returning to the parking lot. Another shopper reported Greenland after observing him looking into the car and attempting to open it. That's when police officers spotted Greenland and confronted him. In the police body cam video, Greenland is seen holding a drink and a bag of groceries while walking in front of a Target store. Police are seen surrounding him as he holds his hands up, clearly confused about the officers confronting him. Greenland followed the officers' demands and got on his knees with his hands up. While still on his knees, an officer can be seen physically assaulting Greenland from behind. The other officers approach and attempt to place handcuffs on him, although he was not being aggressive and was not making any verbal threats towards them. One officer even used a taser on Greenland. During the arrest, police discovered Greenland was in possession of drugs. Although the officers did find drugs on him, it definitely did not justify them physically assaulting him. The police also mentioned that he wasn't complying when they asked him to get on the ground. However, in the video, he did comply and kneeled onto the ground when asked. The arrest was clearly intentional. Greenland ended up suffering multiple serious injuries and PTSD and has since filed a lawsuit.
Keep your hands where they are. Keep your hands on your head. Keep your hands on your head. Put your hand on your head. Put your hand on your head.
I'm paralyzed.
Stop pulling.
Let go of the thing. Let go of it.
Let go.
Let go of the car. Let go of the car.
Let go of the car.
Let go. Taser.
Let go.
Oh. Put your hands behind your back. Top 2 taser.
Yeah, more immunity for these assholes who can't even lend a little bit of grace to a paralyzed man. That last video was of a paralyzed man, and I was sure to make sure I didn't put any, you know what I'm saying, videos of black people getting killed, just because I wanted, you know what I'm saying, all my fellow white people to see this happens to you as well. You know what I'm saying? Which I like to admit all the time, every time niggas get killed. This definitely happens to you as well. And it's definitely still unjustified yet for some reason, I won't see all the backlash and hate for any of those victims. It won't be videos and people posting about the records of these people or any of these sorts. Yet for Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, Eric Gardner, and the list goes on, we have to know every little criminal act they ever made. We have to know all these different things. And I think it's because we don't want to find humanity in the people that we're actively trying to kill off, that we're actively trying to oppress. And I find that interesting because this obviously is spilling over into y'all neighborhoods. This is obviously spilling over into y'all community. At what point will we do better here, man? Because if we don't, we're going to continue to have people like Daniel Shavers. We're going to continue to have more people who are innocent that die in my community, in your community, in every community. Just something to think about.
The Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy is being charged with first-degree murder after he shot and killed 36-year-old Sonia Massey. Good evening. I'm Brendan Morano.
And I'm Karina Rubio. Massey called 911 early in the morning on Saturday, June 6th, because she was concerned someone broke in. 30 minutes late, after deputies arrived on scene, one of them shot her. The indictment officially came down today. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Cole Hinkey joins us live outside the county building. Cole, we have finally heard from county officials today. What did they say?
Well, the family of Sonia Massey finally got some answers today as Sangamon County State's Attorney John Millhiser brought down a 5-count indictment against Sangamon Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson. But there are still plenty of questions left to answer about this case. Long 10 days of waiting for the family of 36-year-old Sonia Massey and the Springfield community. Up until Wednesday, little information was given about the events that led to a sheriff's deputy shooting and killing Massey at her own home after she called 911 for their help.
But yeah, man. Just something to think about, a little food for thought, man, because we continue to allow two standards of living to happen in this country, even two ways of doing politics, where one side thinks that we still actually come to a room and put our differences aside to make laws for the people, while one side thinks that we need to codify whatever Trump says. Doesn't matter what he says. He could tell you we're codifying, taking away the First Amendment from all liberals, and they're on it. Codify, ignoring our law when it doesn't benefit Donald Trump, and everybody goes with it. Honestly, we're living in the cult of Trump, and many people are realizing this in local government, in the federal government. But Trump, he's so above it all, man. He thinks that he's damn near one of us, man. Just take a look, man. Take a look at the cockiness of Trump. The audacity, man. This nigga, the niggas who are really listening and came up in the streets off that music, they wouldn't even want them in their rallies, in their buildings. Yeah, Trump, who, like I say, has caused a lot of this hate on his own self. And I'm not going to sit there and say that the media didn't have a part to play in painting them as this. Well, I ain't going to say painting them, because that's why I say shit. They might have heightened up a lot on a lot of the rhetoric with him and pretty much condemned him immediately. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, especially when we starting to see the Trump we're getting now. Because at first, I ain't gonna even lie, I kind of thought, man, Trump just doing this shit for the votes. But when you hear this man saying the quiet part out loud, I always say it, saying the quiet part out loud. This nigga, yeah, this nigga, man, he is looked at the same as a victim like Terrell, like Sonya. He's looked at as, you know what I'm saying, somebody who's facing adversity from a political party that wants to knock him off because he's a savior that's gonna expose the deep dark secrets of the government, and especially on the left. When he's one of the biggest fucking bigots, one of the biggest fucking dictators that we probably gonna ever see in this world, bro. It's a reason why they say, you know what I'm saying, having the Trump card. He's definitely the embodiment of the Trump card, because every single thing they've tried to do to take this man down, it has failed. I mean, they have convicted him of some crimes, but will he actually go to jail? I don't think so. Because if he actually goes to jail, then people have to actually admit that they supported this criminal all this time. That they supported this fucking rapist, this racist, this pedo all this time. And I don't think people can really take that. I don't think people can take that reality of realizing that they supported and made this creep the president of the United States. And when that realization comes to their head, it almost shatters their reality, man. Especially, like I say, Trumplicans, man, this is a cult, bro. This is like what's the nigga name, man? Jim Jones, the Waco situation, man. All them situations, bro. I see it all in this shit right here, bro. I see it all. And all his cronies, man. What they doing, man? He says he's the party for black people, man. Yet education is being targeted in a way where they're trying to let you know or let you believe that slavery wasn't that bad. Jim Crow wasn't that bad. America had some problems, but we fixed it already. Stop living in the past.
Just yesterday in the state of Florida, they decided middle school students will be taught that enslaved people benefited from slavery. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it.
I had to dig in and read this because the headline I thought couldn't be true, but here it is, a 216-page document from the Florida State Board of Education. One section that reads, slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefits. I never thought I'd see both sidesism of slavery taught in public schools.
Yeah, they really want you to believe that if it wasn't for white people taking people from their land or capturing people here in this land and forcing them to be slaves, that they wouldn't have skills that would have benefited them later on in life. Most, slaves were just agricultural. They didn't, what you would call it, understand industrial work. They were never put into industrial work. And you right, Ra. A lot of those people had skills already. That's why a lot of them people was able to thrive. They went up to the north and shit, and they was able to directly influence these industries when it come to a lot of the industrialization of the north. So a lot of people don't understand that in the South and in the North, there were, at a point in time before the antebellum South, and race was codified as a lower class, that there were black people that were creating all type of things, patenting shit and all that shit in the early 1800s, in the mid 1800s, even still during the antebellum South. There were still black people, inventors, creators. But because a lot of that history gets lost on us, man, we only know that niggas were slaves. And, the bare minimum, niggas sold slaves to white folks. They brought them over here and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Not understanding that there was a skilled labor force in even Africa. You know what I'm saying? Before, getting over here. A lot of the skills that Europeans were even getting taught in the dark ages when they were starting to come into their enlightenment was because of Africans and Moors. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not, and like I say, some people believe Moors and Africans are the same thing. I don't. But there was definitely, a good chunk of melanated people coming and bringing civilization to Europe. And people don't tend to, put all these things together, man. You know what I'm saying? Putting two and two together to see that the people who are believed to brought civilization to the world had to get civilization brought to them at first, man. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that because they made themselves the leaders of today, man. They was able to manipulate and do so, and I don't knock them for that, man. I actually commend them on their strategic manner in which they have done it so far, to where we have to question so much of history now. We have to question so much of reality now because everything has been taught to us through a Western European type of whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everything is Eurocentric with a slash of Western philosophy. You know what I'm saying? And it's not much that you get from the East, from the Chinese, from the Africans, from the other people who, you know what I'm saying, help build this world, who help make the world what it is, man. We only know what they want us to know to make us proud Americans. And then they turn around and they kill the niggas like all the niggas who was willing to buy into America. They killed them off, or they sent them into dummy missions, or they mistreated them here after they accomplished whatever they needed them to accomplish. And then they wonder why there's so much disdain in Black America right now for white America, or for poor Americans, and how they feel about rich Americans. When, how many times have you heard the poor people story being told? Like, if you go look throughout history, how many times have they really told you a nuanced thought process about the poor in the Middle Ages. All they can tell you that shit was fucked up. They can't tell you nothing like that, bro. That's why I like stories like the Diary of Anne Frank are so popular, because it's not too many times that you get a direct story from the people where like oppression is happening. But here in America, we had a lot of those stories. But you know what they did? They ignored that shit. You know why they ignored that shit? Because it condemned them. It showed the heinous treatment that they, if not were actively doing, were allowing to happen. And to this day, they'll always try to make it seem like, oh, racism isn't that bad. But when you start off setting a precedent a certain type of way, and I'm saying precedent, I know a lot of niggas get confused when I start using certain words, man. That shit ends up fucking people for years and generations to come, man. You can't just put shit a certain way and then you change it. And don't think that all the years in which people didn't have access to certain opportunities, access to, you know what I'm saying, even a viable means of living, that's not going to affect them for generations to come. Even though it's many of us that are reversing these effects every day, it's still an uphill battle every day for many of us Black Americans. And you have to be exemplary in whatever you do just to get the average. And it's so true. That's why I can't stand a DEI, any of that shit. That rhetoric, bro, diversity, equity, and inclusion. When these things are being said, bro, even though you go and look at any statistic, and the fact that we are hindering ourselves from fully being diverse is costing us millions of dollars. It's costed us trillions, if not billions of dollars. Billions, if not trillions, my bad. But anyway, this shit is real statistics, bro. Go look at how much racism has cost America. People have done the statistics on it. There's so much more money that could have been made by just making sure everybody had a piece of the pie. And that's why when you have people now that are against capitalism or that are against, you know what I'm saying, some of the foundations of America, you can't be mad at these people because you use these same foundations to fuck over so many people, bro. Where are the Indians, man? Some people say they still here, man. They just a different name now. But for the people who do believe that they were wiped out, where the motherfuckers at, man? Where the motherfuckers that was supposedly wiped out, man? They seem to be far and few in between, man. I'm just saying, man. But our government has to, you know what I'm saying, realize, bro, that until we really try to address this race issue for real, we're going to continue to have candidates like Donald Trump that can galvanize a certain group of the people and then get everybody else to get on board. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump has been doing this shit very smoothly, man. And it's not like it's something that ain't been peeped out by so many different people, even here in America, outside of America, bro. Here's a little video about the Chinese perspective of the Black rights movement during the 1960s.
A Chinese map of Black American resistance against violent oppression from 1968. The red dots you see are small torch icons indicating sites of actions or uprisings, and the text boxes, helpfully for a Chinese audience, tell us a little bit about the context. We have boxes for Chicago, Washington, Pittsburgh, and so on. I'm interested in the larger of the two boxes on the bottom left, which says, Memphis. Black pacifist Martin Luther King was killed by American imperialists on April 4th. The box goes on to say this is going to be a keen lesson for the movement and for the black masses. The implication being, I think, that nonviolence may not be the best tactic for them to find their liberation. This is, of course, the Chinese point of view in 1968 as they watch closely the other great cultural revolution of the decade unfolding across the Pacific. Now, I'm very curious to hear what an American audience thinks or feels when looking at this map. I don't pretend to be an expert on protest culture, the 1960s, or America. When I look at this, I wonder if I see evidence of Chinese ignorance or blind spots. I note that about 90% of the uprisings appear to be Chicago and points east. I look at California, and I see just San Francisco, Berkeley, and Oakland, of course, places with lots of Chinese people, but no LA. So this is how a Chinese state sees in 1968.
Yeah, and I find that very interesting that even Chinese people were peeping us out, and some might have felt that the passive route was the wrong route to go. But I could also see where they could be trying to use that to their own advantage at that time as well, because they were having their own revolutions and shit at the time and shit like that, and it could easily be like maybe they were trying to study us to figure out how they could come about their own movements in China, or they were just, studying us and all trying to figure out like if we was going to actually, pull it off or not. I don't know. I don't know what necessarily was the interest behind it, but I definitely do think that that most of what they were looking into were the rioting as opposed to the actual, peaceful protest and shit like that. Because a lot of people don't realize that the black power movements of the 50s and the 60s and even before, from pretty much the whole Jim Crow era, there was a multitude of violence going both ways, man. It wasn't like our ancestors just was sitting there taking ass whoopings all the time, man. That was the narrative that got painted by, Martin Luther King, with him believing that a nonviolent movement would galvanize the hearts of the people and have people really invested in seeing a change when they see that these people were not, like, they will see us getting our ass whooped and not doing anything back and still getting beat down and maimed and sticking the dogs on us and hoses and shit. But guess what? That shit really wasn't what changed a lot of shit, bro. Even when Martin Luther King was murdered, bro, they rioted, bro, and they passed a little civil rights bill. Before Martin Luther King died, bro, I think it was nothing but the voting rights and the integration and education. And after Martin Luther King died, they codified the voting rights, all the other ones, the main ones, I think that was a civil rights. It was some type of civil rights one in '64 as well. I'm trying to think of which one was that. But I'm a little lost right now, man. I've been smoking and drinking and shit, and I done went in the house multiple times, and I still haven't just picked up my notebook, even though these notes for this shit will probably be in the notebook that I can't find right now. But I will say this, man. They needed people to be violent just as much as they needed people to be peaceful. I think we needed both sides of that, man. And what I think the whole problem was not that we were fighting for something. I think that we chose to fight for the wrong thing. Like, instead of integrating into white neighborhoods, we should have been getting white people to integrate into our neighborhoods. Or instead of wanting us to get over to their side and getting hired onto their businesses and shit like that, and get on their buses. We should have been making them motherfuckers want to get on our buses or fund our shit and shit like that. Because the main reason why black people even wanted to integrate in the society is because every time we built some nice shit, it got destroyed to the point that we couldn't keep up financially with maintaining black shit, black businesses. It was some black businesses that did thrive and did work out a lot. But a lot of black businesses, it was hard for them to actually build proper infrastructure for their business because of white hate. It was hard for them to fund certain business ventures in black neighborhoods because of white hate. If black people were to even have something nicer than the white people at those times, it was considered an insult to the white people. Now, I'm like I say, and I'm only speaking of the past right now. So I don't want anybody to get offended. Feel like I'm kind of call white people racist or some shit. Like I said, we went over the questions already. I don't believe all white people are inherently racist. There's some people that probably do, and they probably in the chat. And you know what I'm saying? Guess what? It is what it is, because we all have that opinion to have. Just like it might be a white person come across this video and believe that all black people are violent and ignorant and thugs and shit. You right to have your opinion. Just don't let your free will infringe on my free will. When you start trying to impose something on me, it's gonna be your ass. That's how I see it, man. As long as you don't try to do that, we good. Or you can feel like I'm a NIGGER all you want to. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I am a nigga. You know what I'm saying? A badass nigga if you try with me. You know what I'm talking about? But for real, let's look at some of these comments, man. I'm finna get ready to tap out this mug. Yeah. We should have been fighting together and not separately. Black Panthers, the NOI, Darth Martin Luther King movement. Yeah, it should have. I definitely agree with you on that. We should have been fighting together. But I think that the key is that people were so bent on their way being the right way that they seen all the flaws in the other way and not the positives. And it's always like the NOI. So, man, there's a lot of flaws that I feel like in the NOI as far as just like the leadership and shit like that. But as far as like their structure, I don't knock that shit at all, bro. Like these niggas had an economic plan. These niggas built an army or militia. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some shit, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of niggas, man, they don't even try to even think of, bro. They thought about building up a savings of in a collective, everybody putting in to a fund that could build infrastructure in their neighborhoods, and this is how the NOI and the whoever I don't know if they still call themselves the NOI or what they are now, but the Black Muslims that are the still organizations and shit under Farrakhan and all them. That's how they still fund a lot of their shit, man. It's through these same financial programs and shit. Like Marcus Garvey and his political strategies and how he wanted to interconnect the African diaspora. You know what I'm saying? I fucks with a lot of that shit. I feel like all these different great men, like W.E. Du Bois and his strive for black excellence, and especially in the education field, and being able to have skilled black men come and hey, hold on right quick, man. My damn son, the motherfucking came outside. Hold on. Yeah, my bad, y'all. My little nigga get to running all out in the damn parking lot looking for a nigga, man. Hold on right quick. My bad, man. I had put the little nigga to sleep, man. He done woke up. He ain't see me in there with him. And he get to, you know what I'm saying, spaz, and he don't see his daddy in that mug. And I'm just like right outside the door. But I'm in the car and shit. And he ain't gonna see me at first. I ain't want to start running all out in the parking lot. It ain't a whole bunch of cars be coming, but still just want to, you know what I'm saying. Plus I got coyotes kind of over here by my shit. So just don't want them outside at night at all. But like I was saying, man, a lot of these movements, man, it was more about just finding flaws in each other, bro, and not really finding the strengths that they had and putting them all together for black people's benefit, man. Because just like how Joe Biden feel like if you don't vote this, you ain't black. It was a point in time when all the movements were, they was like, if you ain't a Panther, you ain't black. If you ain't a woo, you ain't black. And I don't think Martin Luther King and his shit was necessarily like that per se. But he definitely felt like he was in the right and had the moral high ground from the church and shit like that. So, but like I say, a lot of these people, you know what I'm saying, like Martin Luther King, he not only was funded by socialists, but he studied like Gandhi and that peaceful movement, that nonviolence movement. But it's a lot of what Gandhi was doing that was some fuck shit. So you know what I'm saying? Like, just because you find a flaw in that shit don't necessarily mean you can't pick apart and get what you need out of it. That's my only argument to all that shit, man. When it comes to black people trying to build liberation, man, bro, we can, you know what I'm saying, play any game we want to play. We can play the black game, we can play the white game, we can play the revolution game, the reform game, the money game, you know what I'm saying? It's all kind of ways we can find a way to liberate ourselves, but we got to come to one accord and say, this is how we're going to do it, or else we all going to just be individual successes. I mean, individual successes. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But as a collective, we will continue to not be in our most efficient form. You know what I'm saying? We'll continue to have multiple people of us that are still falling to the wayside. And like I say, and that's where, like I say, you can find flaws in like W.E. Du Bois and his black excellence. Like, because that's an individualistic viewpoint of how we do things. He's talking about our 10% coming back and helping the rest of the poor folk and teaching them the way, which we've had so many of our whatever you call it, 10% of the talented ones, the excellent ones, getting the power and forget about them niggas all down at the bottom. They forget about them niggas every fucking time. Cause see, what a lot of us fail to realize is that personal motivations can go any way. So if my personal motivations don't align with my people, shit, fuck my people, right? That's how a lot of people think. And that's just how that shit go. You gotta find people that really have a passion for seeing us do great, for seeing us do amazing, for wanting to see us be at the top. And I ain't saying just like, oh, it's gotta be a black world shit, but just wanting to see our people do good. They don't believe that we're inherently any of these negative stereotypes that they try to paint on us. That we actually just need the opportunity, that we just need the person that's willing to believe in us. And sometimes it could just be the parents, because like I say, a lot of us we come up in these broken homes, and then we have a lot of peers in these broken homes, and we get so confused on how life should be that we don't really get to experience how life really is and how it should be. And that end up, you know what I'm saying, having us all tainted in our worldviews and shit, fucked up, and not understanding why one person can come to this realization. You know, ooh, my shit finna die.